Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. It's Wendy here from Little Nest Crafts. Thank you for joining me this evening. And what day are we today? It's Wednesday. And yeah, I thought I would have a bit of a play this evening because I'm in a bit of a scrap busting mode. And I've decided to get out my napkins, or serviettes, as some people call them, because they've been in my stash for, oh, I don't know, 10 years and I've hardly ever used them, and I haven't got that many, and some of the designs aren't you know, maybe what I would bought myself, but I've had them in Happy Mail and things like that. They've been gifted to me, so I thought I'd have a play and use up some of my scraps as well, because I've been on a scrap busting mode. And what I do is I keep all of my these are all bits and bobs from the backs of cards and things like that, and I make tags out of them, and I keep the fronts and recycle, you know, Christmas cards, and then the back part, yeah, I use them to make tags with. So I thought we'd have a play, and I've got another tub here full of scraps, papers, book page, and bits and bobs there, and then I've got my florals and my labels and things like that that we can add to. This was one that I had a play at earlier on, yesterday, and let it dry overnight, and all I did was use some book page, and I put one of the this is one of the napkins I've peeled them all in readiness, and these have got teacups on, so I've taken the teacup off and popped it on there. And then what I thought I would do is I could put a scrappy bit on there, you know, one of my scrappy doodles, or I could add some florals, and as I say, I've got some words and florals there, and yeah, so I'll keep those to one side and we'll have a go and see what we can do. And these will be more for eclectic style journals because of the papers that I've got. I've got this one, I've got this little small one here, which has got some nice florals on it, very delicate. I've got some rose here, and then I've been, what I've done is I've used my water brush to go around the teacup and take off the pieces that I want. So I've done those in readiness, and then I've got this one here which has got some nice rose florals on. So I thought we'd have a play and just make a few tags. So what I'll have to do is I'll probably have to stop the video and allow them to dry before we start stamping and things like that. So what I did all the prep yesterday, and these are the scraps that I'm going to use. And what I did, I put on some background wash just to dampen the colour down. I mean, that's a Canny Trio, which is one of my dog's Wormer boxes, and some of them I've left as is, because we can cover those with paper. And yeah, so we'll have a play and see what we can do. So I'll just put those tissue bits out the way, and then what I did, to save time, I've been having a play and putting on, I thought that might be nice on there, or to maybe get a wider piece of card. Let's have a look. I have messed these up now. What we got here, maybe that one would go on there actually, and if I can put paper on the back of there, and we could do that on that one, and then use some book page up in the corner. So let's have a look. Yeah, that looks nice, doesn't it? So yeah, let me just get my brush, and all I'm putting it on with is a bit of Mod Podge. And so I hope that you're all well. I'm still suffering with a bit of a cold, as is my husband. Oh, and crikey me, yesterday we all had a bit of a fright. Chris was just going up to bed, and he was on the second step of the stairs, and for some reason lost his balance and fell down the 2 stairs. Thankfully it was only 2, and fell flat onto his back, full force with his body weight, and my husband's big 6'3" strapping chap, so the bigger they are the harder they fall, they say, don't they? And the noise it made, how my neighbours didn't come round to investigate from next door, I don't know. But there he lay. I ran into him, and not physically, but I ran into the hall to go and check how he was, and it totally winded him. He couldn't breathe, he couldn't get his breath, and yeah, very, very scary for him, and well, and for me as well, because he has had a hip replacement, and I was thinking, oh my goodness, has he done anything to his hip? And worse still, his spine. But thankfully, after about 10-15 minutes, he got his breath back. I made him stay on the floor so that I could give him a once over all his limbs, check his limbs, etc. And we were debating whether to call for an ambulance because he just couldn't physically get up off the floor. Anyway, eventually I got a chair and managed to roll him onto his side, and he managed to roll onto his side and then onto his all fours, and managed to get off the floor. So yeah, so now, that was day before yesterday. Was it day before yesterday it happened? Yeah, day before yesterday. And he had a bit of a rough night's sleep because obviously he's full of cold and he's got a cough, and now every time he coughs it's hurting his ribs from when he fell. So yes, it's been a bit traumatic. So I want to rub that with something, but I don't know what. I'm just going to do it gently with my finger. I should have a dry paintbrush. I think I've got a dry paintbrush, that might be better. It's a bit of a scrappy one, but there we go. So that one, we can cut the excess off at the back, and I can cover the back with some coffee dyed paper. Oops, did not cut it very well. There we are. Don't worry about that bottom bit because I can cut the bottom off the card. So that's one done, and let's have a look at this one. I've got another one here which will fill it totally. So yeah, we'll do that one. So it's a nice scrap busting project because you can, use your serviettes and things that if you've like me, you've got them in your stash and you haven't done anything with them. It's a nice way of getting them out the cupboard and showing them the light of day, as it were. So I don't worry if it wrinkles a little bit, because that's all part of the attraction, but obviously you don't want huge wrinkles if you can help it. So try and work your way from one edge to another. And I don't mind if it rips a little bit in a few raw edges, doesn't matter. And if you've got any white bits, you'll be able to sort those out with some ink. There we go. So really quick to do as well. And you can, you know, use them for either making tags or journaling cards. So that's another one done. And let's see, I've got a bit of a teacup here with some I'm going to put the ones that are going to dry up and out the way. I'll leave that one there. So we've got a bit of a teacup there. And so we could have a tall one. Let's have a look. Oops, a daisy. Just wondering if I've got a long strip. I quite like the way the text shows through that as well. Let me just look for a bit more book page. I've got a long strip there, might be better. Yeah, I'll paste that down. There we go. And what I did, I prepped it prior to starting the camera. There we go. And then I'm just going to hold that up because I want to. I'm just going to turn it to the side, I think, because I can't lean over the top of it to see the top edge. And I want to keep that green edge if I can. Like so. And then we'll just fold the rest. Pop some underneath. There we go. There's another one for drying. So once these are dry, we'll come back and we'll do some decorating. And I've just smushed that the wrong way, so that's better. And there too. That's gone underneath, I think. No, not to worry. Not to worry. So put those to the side. There we go. So that's 3. Now then, another largish one, I think. Now I could actually do 2 with that. So when I say I use my water brush, all I do is squeeze a drop of water and then come round like so, and then you just separate it, and that way pull it gently and it tears where the water's been. And I can do 2 cards with that now. So we've got one there, which, let's have a look. we can do, that'd be nice at the top. Find something interesting to go at the bottom. There we go. So we'll put this on first. I will wet it all, as soon as my brush was loaded. So we can pop that in the middle, and then I'm going to just paste over the top bit there. And then we'll do the same, just so that I can see where I'm going. I need to do the bottom part here. There we go. And what I'm going to do, I'm not going to worry about the bits that are coming over the edge, because they'll be easier to cut when it's dry. There we are. So we'll pop that one to dry as well. Then we'll do another one with this. Need some more book page. Let's have a look. What have we got? See what I've got in the way of some of the maybe a printed bit. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, that might be pretty. Yeah, we'll do that. So, same again, we'll give it a bit of Mod Podge all the way down. And start from the bottom there. And I will go over the edge a little bit so I can trim it. I can trim it down then. And I will cut that top bit off. And then I'm going to do this bottom half. Oops, getting glue on my napkins. There we go. Now I'm not going to be too fussy about the straight line there, because that's going to be covered up by this rose now. So we'll just see how far I need to come down with my glue. So down to about there. There we go. And then we'll get the green line if we can. And there we go. And I just need to come under there. Now this Mod Podge is supposed to be matte finish, so I know it looks shiny at the moment, but I'm hoping that it will dampen down. So let's have a look at the back. There we are, I'm trying to get those large creases out there. So I'll trim this bit. And this is quite a flimsy card, so I will be giving it a substantial piece of backing. So there we go. Right, so there's all the roses, and I've got a teacup one here, so let's have a look. And I'll do the same with that. I'm going to pop that there, and maybe if I pop that there for a minute. Let's have a look. Yes, I do need to keep that if I can. Just tear that bit off and glue along there. Yeah, we'll do that. There we go. So now come over there, like so, and I will trim it while I've got my scissors next to me. There we go. Get as many air bubbles out as we can. And then we'll Mod Podge this end. I want to see roughly how far I need to go. I need to basically go right the way along here. And I'll start at this edge, or maybe the corner. Oops. They are very fragile. Now then, I should have torn that edge instead of it being a straight edge, because you can actually see it behind there, but that's not a problem because we can disguise it a little bit with a label or something like that. I should have perhaps thought about that, because it's like a stark contrast along there, but not to worry, we can see how the land lies once it's dry. And at the end of the day, it's a tiny bit of napkin and a scrap bit of card, so and a teeny weeny bit of Mod Podge, so it's hardly going to break the bank. Now then, I just need to pop a bit under there. Oops. Try and straighten that out. There we are. Okay. And we've always got text, so I could come along there into that corner and use my text stamp. And what else have we got? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the one that I've done. Right, excuse me, that's all my edges inked, front and back, and I've done the pockets as well. And it's surprising what a difference it makes to the tags. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go away and I'm going to stitch all round the edges of the tags, I think. Yeah, I'm just wondering. I have got a stamp somewhere, and I'm just wondering. Oh, before I do that, on the backs here of these, I've got some stencils, and I thought I would also. I've got this sort of splatters stamp, and I thought what I would do first is put a few splatters on the back, just to give it a little bit more vintage look. And I'm going to use my ink that I'm using now. There we go. And it's just a little touch of something. On the back, just to take the plainness off there. I don't need to do those. Come off the side as well. There we go. Just makes them a bit more vintage looking. And so I don't lose that, I'll just put it back onto my sheet. And then we could also use a little splatter. Let's have a look. There we go. There we are. Last one. Super duper. There we go. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get my archival ink, and I'm going to stamp on the front of some of these just to give them a bit of added extra something in the blank spaces. I wanted to do that one there, didn't I? So we'll just go over there. There we go. Just helps hide it a little bit. No, I don't know whether I want anything on that one. I quite like that one as it is. And I think I might put something just down here a little bit. Let me just get a piece of paper to put underneath, so I'm not stamping on my board. Just come off the page a little bit. There we go. And maybe something in this corner. And maybe a little something up in that corner as well. I'm going to take it off the board to do this though, because I only want to have a touch. There we go. And maybe a little touch over there as well. Lovely. I'll put that back on my thing, and we'll have a look at these others. So those three are done. I don't think that needs any extra text on there. I like the way that looks on that one. I think we will have a bit on this one. Let me just for that little gap there, and a bit of something down there, and then I'm going to put something, so that'll do for that one. And then I definitely need something on here because of all this void. There we go, that's better. And a bit down here coming off the page. Lovely. Now then, maybe something down there to this rose. Yep. And I like the look of that one. And I like the look of that one. And I think something would be nice on here too. But I'm going to take that off and just do it with my fingers, like so. Maybe a bit there. And a teeny bit up there. Oh dear. Lovely. Yeah, that looks nice, I think. For saying I wasn't over enamoured with the serviettes, they've turned out quite nice, I think. I'm just wondering whether to put a little bit up there. Yeah. Right. Put that there. I've got this little stamp that I've never actually used, and I was going through my stamps the other day and I thought, oh no, that might be interesting to have a go at because of my sewing machine. Now that I need a longer I need another longer stamp block, so just bear with. Now I haven't got a longer stamping block, but I have got my stamping, I forgot what it's called now, but this stamping thing here, and I'm just going to have a shufty and see if this will work. Now I've got this, and I'm going to get one of the tags, maybe this one, and we'll pop it down here, and I'm going to lay that down there. Get my stamping platform, so I hope it sticks, and then we're going to just apply some ink onto here. Excuse my arm, everybody. And just make sure the tag hasn't moved. Oh, there we go. I don't think it needs another. Oops, a daisy. Let me just put a piece of paper underneath there. I don't want to ink up my stamping platform, so we'll get a scrap piece of book page. There we go. Yeah, I don't think that looks too bad. By the time we put some decoration on the front, let's have another go with one of the other ones. Let's have a look at this one, shall we? And I'm just wondering whether to, instead of using black, I'll just clean my stamp off a bit. What other colours have I got over here? Just as an experiment, I've got this distress oxide, or I've got tattered rose. Oh dear, what's happening there? Don't think I want to use that one. So let's have a look. We'll try the tattered rose. Seeing as we've got some pink roses, I'll just get the ink off where I've put ink where I shouldn't have, and I shouldn't have done that, so I'm just going to guesstimate. Just going to guesstimate where I want this to go, because I've done a boob and not lined it up with my... Not going to go there. Hold on a second. There we go. Maybe I should have gone right up against the edge there. No. I'm having second thoughts about the colour, because it is slightly different colour. So let's have a practice on a piece of this and see what it looks like. Would that have gone? Yeah, I think we'd be safe to say we'd be okay. So I'm just going to get rid of the ink off there. Put it on my tag. Lay this down on here. So for those of you who haven't got sewing machines, this could well be an option for you, to get yourself a little stamp with some faux stitching on it, and you can get different patterns as well. I can't remember where I got this one from. Most of the things I get are from Amazon, so it was possibly from Amazon, but it could well have been eBay. Right, there we go. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. I'll just have it down one side, because I've got an embroidery machine, but I don't like using it on paper. Now these, because they've got the stitch in, it could well do with going a bit darker on these. Would the pink one show up on the side of there? Possibly. We'll try that one. So I'll put my stamps on this side, and we'll pop that there. Go up to the top. And then we'll, should have cleaned the stamp off really, but there we go. There we are, lovely. Just gives it a pop of colour as well down the side. Won't do them all. No, I won't do those. And I don't think I'm going to, I might do that one, put a little bit down there maybe, but I'm not going to do those two. That one I've done in black. And so let me just clean that stamp. There we go. So we'll hold it fast. We'll pop this. Do I want to go over the rows? If I was machine stitching, I would, wouldn't I? I think this one is actually dry. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's dry. Not throwing away that one really. So we'll go back to this one. Or I could use let's try the brown. Oh, sorry, I'm wiggling you. I do apologise. Let's have a look now. It's very faint. Let me just pop a tad more ink on my pad. So I do apologise, everybody. There we go. Oh, and I'll move that now. There we are. Lovely. So it's faint, but it you know, just helps fill in the gaps. And we've got one more. I'll put some down on there, and this time I'll go this side. So we'll just see how we're looking. Might have to go up to the edge. Let's have a look. Oops, daisy. Right. Sorry, everybody. There we go. There we are. Very faint, but it's not too in your face, so I quite like that. I think you can see it on there. Right, so that's that done. So I'll just put that to one side. Clean that off in a minute. Now then, what we're going to do now is we just put my archival ink back, make a bit of room, and what I'm going to do is put some stencils on the back. So I don't need to do my pockets, but perhaps put a bit of something on the back. And I've got these stencils here. So what I was thinking was maybe just pop that just to give a bit of added interest on the back of the tag. Not going over it too heavily. Yeah, just faint. Let's have a look. What have we got? A nice fern on that one. Oops. Let me just lift it a minute and see. Yeah, that looks quite nice, doesn't it? So it just enables you that you can still write on them, but you've got something else to look at on the back. How about one of these? There we go. Yeah. So do we want to do them all? That one, which one did I do? I did that, didn't I? just want to give it a bit more definition, I think, especially where the spots are. And just down the middle. That's better. So what I need to do now is sort myself some labels and things to go on the front. So just bear with, and we'll have a look at what we've got. So I've got a butterfly here, which I think looks, that might look nice because it picks the pinks and the blues. And then, have we got any flowers? Oh, we've got a snippet. Or maybe this snippet. Oh no, that might be nice. A nice rose with a, let's have a look what we've got in the way of a label. Let's have a look at different butterfly. I did like it when I first put it on, but I've had a bit of a change of heart. That's quite nice. It picks out the pink in there. Oh, we've got that one. Yeah, I like that one, so we'll go with that, I think. And then we'll put a little ticket on. And then all we need to do now is pop a eyelet in to make that 3D. Just press the middle down. There we go. So that's our first tag. So we'll pop that on there, and then we'll have a look for something for on here. Now we've got quite a few flowers on there, so let's have a look at the butterflies. And it's quite a big tag, so we might be able to get away with a larger butterfly. You could do something like that down the bottom. Oh, there's a nice one too. With a nice label. So we've got a smaller label. You could have that as a tuck spot and put a little tag in the front. Have that with a, you could have a number coming across like so. that. Have a little tuck spot in there with a couple of little somethings sticking out the side. Yeah, I think we'll do that. So we'll glue down there. Oops. Glue down there. Glue down there. Pop that down there. Just like give it a chance to take, and then we'll pop these little tags in, and I'll just take the white off the back by, there we are, vintaging them a little bit, and there we go, got a little tag there, sorry, a little pocket. And then what we're going to do, let's have a look. Not convinced with that number. I've got this one. Yeah, I quite like that one. It's smaller. And where we're going to put this butterfly? Maybe on there. Yeah, we'll put that. I like that little number. Oh. My glue's decided to and let's have a look. It's a bit camouflaged. No, wrong pink. So it's either that one or that one. No, I don't like that one. Oh, that one. Could have that one up there. I quite like this speckled one, I think. Or under the rose. Don't like it near the top on this one. Yeah, maybe down there. Maybe down there. Just make a decision. There we go. So we'll put those two to one side, and then I'm going to go away and decorate a few more and come back, because you get the gist of what we're doing. And yeah, I'll see you in a moment. Right, so I've just tidied up a little bit and let those dry off, and we can put some gems and things on there. So those two done. So we've got to find something for here now. And what I've done is I've fished out my little, this is a little digital kit that's over in my coffee shop. And you get the hearts with it, you get the photos with it, and you can put your little sentiments on and flowers and things. And it's like a dingle dangle. So I thought I might glue that on the front of there, snip off those threads off the bottom, and have that like that as a little dangle. So I'm going to get my feather tack, and behind this ribbon I'm going to glue it. Oh, I won't go too close because I want to put an eyelet in there. So let's just wipe that excess off. And there we go, we've got a little dingle dangle on the card. And look at my glue, it's all puddling out. So let's have a look. So I'll leave that one there, ready for putting the eyelet in. And we've got these ones now. Have I got anything with, I thought there was one with a bit of blue. No, I need to put the coffee on the back of there. But what I thought was that might look quite nice along the edge of there with just the teacup poking out. Or we've got this one with a bit of pink. Or let's have a look. Maybe, no. Oh no, then this one might be suitable for there. Let's have a look. And these are just my scrappy doodly bits. It's a shame to cover that up because I do like that. So I've got a smaller one. Now that one you could have as a little tuck spot to tuck a card in there. Yeah, I like that. So let me get that glue so we don't waste anything. So I'll pop that down there. And then that way you've got a tuck spot. Maybe take it down a tad. Down to there. And then that way that doesn't interfere with putting that eyelet in. And just to show you, let's get a little card. Never find one when you want one. So you've got a little tuck spot there now. So that's another one done. And I got some more of these dangles. And that might be a nice one again. Have a look. And that's got the green ribbon, so that might be nice to go on there. And come down a bit. Yeah, we'll do that. There we are. make sure it's fairly central. And then a little label or something to go on the bottom of that one. So what have we got? Something not too in your face. Oh no, not that one. Not very appropriate. What's this greeny one? No, a bit too green. You can have a price ticket. Yep, I like that. 20p. Just ink around the edge. So there's another one. And I think I'm going to do the same with these. Let's have a look. Yep. Having said that, yeah, not this time. And same again with this one. We'll find a nice ticket to go at the bottom. Or got something with bread in. On colour really. Let's have a look. You can never find what you're looking for when you're in a hurry. I don't dislike that one because it stands out from the text at the back. Or we could have a small one, just saying forever. 6, 19, 12, no. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to do some more cutting out of numbers. Sherry wine. Haberdashery. Oh no, what's this one? Yeah, that'll do. That does it for me. So we'll pop that on. And then we'll cut the strings on there. There we go. So I've just got this one to sort out now. And I still don't dislike that. Oh, we've got the blue one. I think it's going to have to be that one. With the teacup behind. So, just put these away. And we'll glue this one. Glued a bit too much. Now then, it's going to cover my stitching a little bit, so I'll try and leave a little bit uncovered. There we go. And then we've got just enough room there to put our eyeliner on. And then we've got one more. I think it's just going to be a butterfly on there. I quite like that one, I think. No, a bit too dark. I think it's going to be that one. Put that one there. And then we'll have a label. There we go. Yep, that'll do. So I'll glue that on. They always move when you're patting them. There we go. And you can go there. And I think once we get some ribbons in, we'll be home and dry. So I do hope that you enjoyed putting these tags together with me and seeing the process with the using the serviettes. Sorry everybody, I'm tired. I'm tired, I can't get my words out. So yeah, using the serviettes, and hope that you like what we've made and done a few different things by stamping with stitches, using some of my dingle dangles on there. And what I will do is I'll add a little clip just when I put the ribbons in, and we'll show those tomorrow. But it's about 2 o'clock in the morning here, and it's time I went to bed. So I'll say good night for now, and I'll catch you in the morning. Bye for now. Just a quick one, everybody, just to show you the finished product. Not done much to these, just left them as is. I don't know if you can see, just move my mat further up. There we go. So they make lovely pockets in a journal, which I'm going to be using later on. So those three. And then we've got this one with the side tuck that we showed earlier on, with the little card that goes in there, the tuck spot. So that's that one. And then we've got this one, and with just the splatters on the back of there. That one, I do love that. And it says tea for two, two for tea. So I didn't really want to put anything else on there really. Sometimes less is more. And then there's that one with just the splatters on the back, and I've put some eyelets in and some crinkle seam binding. There's the blue one, same again, tuck spot in there, and I might put some backing on here and actually put that card in there because it does actually go with it. So yeah, we'll pair those two up. And then we've got this one with the dingle dangles on the hearts there, and this one as well. Just simple. I still think I might put something there, I might have a look, or maybe a butterfly. Yeah, I'll leave that one to one side, and then that one there. And I quite like that, it's rustic with the roses in the background there. So that is it, everybody. Thank you for joining me, and thank you. I'd just like to say thank you again for all your support and all your kind comments, and trying to grow my channel slowly. And I will be doing a giveaway. I did promise to do a giveaway when I reached 1,500 subscribers, and around about the 1,300 mark. So if you can like, comment and share, I would be very grateful. And keep your eyes posted, because I'll be giving away a journal, and I'll be doing a video about the journal and doing the giveaway on that video. So keep your eyes peeled, and hit the bell, and you'll get notified of all my new videos if you are interested in going in the draw. But I've a little way to go yet, so yeah, it's just going up slowly. The numbers are going up slowly. Right, I'll say good night, because it's gone 2 o'clock now, and I'll see you in my next video. So until then, stay safe everybody, be kind to one another, and bye for now. Bye.